Hi, this is Ken Flott with the Insyghtful Sales Podcast. I'm here with my friend Steve Hoppy Hopkins. Steven, good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Ken. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing great, man. Been a long time. We kind of go back and forth on LinkedIn a bit and through text messages, which we can't repeat to anybody outside that chat. But I'm happy to talk to you again, Steven.
I'm happy to talk to you too.
Thank you, Hoppy. So you can call him Hoppy. I'm going to put it in the show notes. It's Steve Hoppy Hopkins. We got an entire comedy routine down, he and I, around the nickname Hoppy. It includes ventriloquist dolls and sock puppets and stuff. But we won't do that today. So Steven, ask all our guests, give us your credibility statement and then wind up where you are now. Please go ahead.
Awesome. So 20 years in SaaS sales. Previous to that, I was working for a major wire and cable distributor, OEM sales, handled the Northeast territory, a lot of big name companies, Monsanto, Diebold, and basically got the itch to really better myself as far as technology and understanding the mesh between technology and sales, creating not only the technical element, but also the human element, the emotional element. People buy on emotion. Right, buyers have always focused on how is this going to help make my life easier, and it's our job really as salespeople moving forward. And this is new to this new generation, obviously, but your job is really to ensure that when buyers are looking for a solution, that you can help them in that process, help them buy, help them become part of that process where you absolutely are a vehicle of knowledge and preparation, and have the ability to help them help themselves, right? So I've been in the AI space since about 2018. Got to start there actually working with a mortgage assistance and mortgage originator company that was going out and helping banks with their AI process so that they could expand their region, and the basis of this really came from those Rocket Mortgage ads where you look at, the guy looks at his phone in the commercial, he's going, "Oh, I'm approved for $500,000. No, you're not. What you're approved for is a good credit rating, but in the background, you've got 20 to 40 people actually verifying all of your financial data. They finally figured out that, hey, if we use AI to be able to do that, we can quickly scan this guy's financial information. And so he does have the approval. Well, this company got that idea and said, you know what, we can better that. And that's what we went out and did. We went out and sold to major banks and financial institutions and helped them really help their customers get those mortgages that they were trying to get. And for a while, it worked out well. And then AI was kind of in its infancy then. So a lot of technical resources weren't available to be able to help you either improve that process or be able to really help it grow. It seems like now daily that's happening, but back then it was a little more work intensive being able to achieve that goal. So I truly enjoy sales, even as I'm in the latter portion of my life and my career. And the thing I enjoy most is being able to help people solve problems, right? To improve their lives, because in the end, that's really what it's all about. If you're just someone who's obsessed with, I'm just going to blow out a number and I don't care how I get there. I'm just going to burn that bridge and burn that road. I hate to break it to you, but you're not going to get anywhere. You need to be able to have that human element as well, even as we use technology and AI in particular to help bridge those gaps from the technical and technological standpoint.
Yeah, create that relationship so you can sell to them again. Because I mentioned in the last episode, this is remember Larkin from that place up in Burlington. Larkin once said to me, we were on a trip. He's like, "This is nobody's last job," right? Right. So these people that you're talking to, not just you, but these people that you're talking to, they're going to have other jobs. They're going to go other places. You give them a bad time, give them a bad experience, they're not going to want to buy from you again. They're not going to. So give them a good, I mention Ron Willingham all the time too. Ron Willingham a mentor of mine, but also an author, was one of the things to take away from his books is that sales is not something you do to someone. It's something you do for them and with them, right?
Absolutely.
My job is to make your job, your life better. If that happens, then we're a partnership, right? You're gonna want me to, hey, what do you, I had somebody reach out when I was at that place in Burlington, reach out, hey, what are you doing now? What are you selling now? And I was like, oh, well, it's actually, it's a network software. He goes, oh, well, I'll get it in front of my guys. They reached out to me because of the experience they had at a previous place. Like, yeah, it was good. I want to know what you're doing. So we wanted to follow up. And so you presented to them, nothing happened to it, but still that is a strange, that's the kind of relationship that you want to build. So what's the name of the spot that you're at now?
It's a company called eScribe. And what we do is we help state and local governments, especially municipalities, really improve that meeting management experience, right? So we're offering software that allows them to create more of a digital footprint in that area, eliminate a lot of those manual processes that drive these clerks up a wall because they can't spend the time actually presenting the meeting. They've got to spend that much more time making sure they can actually get it going. So they're locked in the PDFs, or maybe you've got requests for publicly available information. And I had one client, in fact, who said that, those are handwritten, and sometimes they don't always get returned, or sometimes we lose them. Well, what's a better process than to be able to automate that process so that you can actually not only have that flow of information, but that you're actually solving a problem that your local constituency can actually see how you're spending their tax dollars and ways that you're improving their community. And that's the good human part of this, right? That I'm able to provide something that not only improves their lives, but also improves the lives of the communities they work with, and gets that town or that city thinking about, hey, you know what? This is something. This is a great place to live, and here's the reason why. Because we've got a council that really cares about us, and will take our ideas, and we'll engage in healthy debate, whatever their end goal is. But to automate that process and create something that's bigger than just, what, we had a meeting, nothing got accomplished, nobody knows anything, and our public is still wondering what we're doing here.
Yeah, what a great time for a solution like that with regards to, I don't think I need to say any more about that, but that's great for everybody's looking for transparency. This is a great way for that to happen. So general question, what was your first job in sales?
Oh boy. I was a Boy Scout many decades ago. And of course, when you're a Boy Scout or when you're a Cub Scout, you're frequently tasked with being able to approach unknown people and ask them if they want to buy something.
You are, right? Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So
I earned my 3-card Monty merit badge.
Excuse me. So my first real, if we can call that a sales job, was to approach perfect strangers and just ask them if they wanted to buy some cookies that I was selling, or to buy popcorn.
Yeah.
And having that response of people, or I don't know enough yet to ask those questions around, here's what that popcorn is going to solve the problem of your snacking need. But at the same time, I was terrified of people. So I was a very shy kid. And this is a way to actually got me started into thinking about, how can I serve people? How can I actually serve a need or a requirement? And that got me thinking as I went through school and as I went through college. I worked in retail for a while, and started working for a property casualty insurance company, went off into more of a marketing spin in my career, but then came back to, it was the late 80s, early 90s. Things were very competitive. The economy wasn't great. And unless you were in a major city, and I wasn't, real Marcom positions were tough to come by. So I made that transition. I said, you know what, I've got to do something where I can provide for myself, where I can talk to people, where I can actually attempt to solve a problem. Hey, what better way to do that than to go into a sales career? And that propelled me into several different levels of sales. I was selling everything from retail reconnects on home phone service
Oh, no kidding.
to fax technology.
Yeah. Fax technology is just wonderful. Just
obviously very dated, very when we talk about today and what we're doing here with AI, but that got me my start. That got me interested in really being able to solve problems for people, and that's what it comes down to for me. That if I can do something that's going to better your life, then it's a win-win situation. Not only do I get to be able to close a deal, but I get to meet some nice people that I've solved a problem for, and I can rely on them if I need referrals or whatever other conversation we want to have. Talk about what their favorite sports team is, what their kids are doing. But you develop relationships that way, and that makes your life overall much more fulfilling than the alternative.
Yeah, talking about AI. So this is the Insyghtful Sales Podcast, and it's connected to Insyghtful AI, which is the company that I work for with our friend Vu and our friend Maddie as well. And part of what they do, and this is what I like about the product itself. By the way, this is not a commercial for the company, but I want to make sure I get that in there. Is we're talking about AI. Steve and I are having a conversation, and if he brings up something, he's talking about something. If the software were running, I don't have it running now because we're not. Steven's not a prospect. I could never sell Steven. I want to hit on a point. I'll get back to him in a second, but I don't know a point. Said he was very shy as a kid. Steven grew into a mountain of a man. He's an offensive lineman. Put it that way. He's a present day offensive lineman. He's 6'6", 300 plus. You need 3 yards. You get behind Steven and kick with the ball. He's a massive man. I just want everybody to know that. But so Insyghtful AI would let me know. Steven just mentioned something that is quote unquote a pain point. You might want to bring up the following about the software, right? So that's AI, a usage of that. What that does is, going back to the point you're making, is it doesn't, I don't have to have a bunch of papers on my desk to either, if I'm not familiar with the software enough, I have to shuffle through and say, oh, he mentioned this. Let me find what that's mentioned in my research on. I don't have to do that. It's being done right on screen. So making people's lives, better and easier is something that AI has done. We talked about it before the call, which is, it's come a long way from what it was to where it is now. I mean, early on, it had a very specific use. One of those uses back in the day was I worked for a guy named Ray Kurzweil, and he invented two things that you probably have seen. One of them is court reporter, another one's medical reporter. Court reporter, if you ever watch a trial, it's like the person holding a thing over their face and they're talking into. Well, I mean, essentially what Ray did was create, voice recognition software. So the person is talking about what people are saying, and the difficult thing was you can pick up simple words. You can load a dictionary in there. It's going to pick up those real simple words that, very conversational, but it's that very specialized language for law or for medical that it would have difficulty with, because it doesn't know those words. Some of those words are not in the dictionary. It's in a special. So you load those other dictionaries in, and it picks up on those. And that was like his first foray into that, where he also invented text to speech. It's another kind of form of AI, I guess you could say that. But making people's lives simpler, because they don't have to use the typey thing in the thing, and doctors don't have to go back and write notes on their procedures. They can just speak out loud, and the thing will take the notes for them with regards to that. So taking that AI into what are you using for, or let me ask a better. What are you using AI for, say, on a daily basis, or what do you see as a good use of it within the sales realm?
Yeah. So currently in my current role, what I do is I use it to first identify, because our solution is priced by population, by several other factors as well. So I try to get an idea as to what they're doing for meeting management software now, what their population is, what their budget cycle looks like. And then I ask, and I primarily use chat for this, but I'll ask it to identify two potential problems that they're currently having, especially if they're using a manual process for meeting management. And then what I do is, when I know that I have that meeting set up or that first discovery call, I'm asking those questions. What's your day-to-day like? What does this look like? What is it like for you to be able to get a meeting put together? How many hours are you investing in this? And what's the output when things go wrong? What happens, right? Are there certain legislative issues and requirements that you're not hitting because of this? And what are the ways that we can improve that? And that's where you have that conversation around, because you've got the knowledge to understand their current process now. You just need somebody to back that up and verify that, yes, this is my issue, this is my problem, and this is why I'm talking to you, because I need to solve this problem.
Yeah.
Or potentially it's in the space that I work in now currently, it's not just that they're worried about losing their job or not getting promoted or not being able to. They're trying to not only put together these meetings, but they've got probably 5 or 6 other responsibilities that they need to take care of at the same time.
Sure.
At the same time, we've got an aging population, right? We've got a population that a lot of boomers now are retired. A lot of the Gen X population is now considering retirement or already there. We've got a new generation that we need to be able to pass that torch along to, pass that knowledge on to. And how are you going to do that if you can't provide some way to be able to access that kind of data, that kind of information, that kind of knowledge, and have that knowledge transferred to that next generation that's coming in? So there's a big concern around being able to use some of these AI tools, and I understand that from a standpoint, you don't want it taking over, but at the same time, you also have to always consider the human element in all of this, and that's what's going to drive, that's what is going to propel AI and humankind to become really a partner and a partnership, rather than two contradictory items that are going to battle it out for who really reigns supremacy, right? It's not. We're not dealing with the set of the Terminator here, right? We're trying to get all this technology that we have and all this knowledge that we're able to access very quickly now, and getting quicker by the day.
Yeah.
And turn that into real value in people's lives.
Yeah, you mentioned Terminator. I'm going to get the name wrong, but the kid in the Terminator, John Roberts, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Somebody asked Siri, "Hey Siri, couldn't ask him like a Terminator question." It's like, no, that'll never happen. But if you could tell me where John Roberts' exact location is right now, I'd be very grateful. So back to what you were talking. Yeah. Okay, it's great. It's fantastic. Back to what you're talking is very good insights on sales there, and make sure we don't skip over it. Is what Steven just did was giving you the process of, he was asking questions. He wasn't throwing up sets of information about what his software, how his software can help you, because it's very important to remember that he knows how it can, but he needs to know what you need to be able to fill in the blanks on that, right? And with regards to AI, any technology that allows you to more easily do your job. So get rid of some of the mundane stuff. Like we went from like manual typewriters to electric typewriters. That was an increase in productivity across the board, right? And we're not even talking about where we are now, where you can just, if you want to, you use your laptop and store things, so you don't even use a paper anymore. So we're like moving that forward, but getting rid of the mundane and making sure that AI, like you mentioned earlier, at least before the call, it was like, it's not going to replace salespeople. You need salespeople to, you create those relationships. That AI can't do that. AI is good at doing things that it knows how to do. It doesn't know how to do anything. You have to tell it what to do, and then you can set it off and have it do that. It uses a bit of, well, not to go off on a tangent, but pattern recognition to say, oh, this is what this is. Last time I did this, I did this. Do you want me to do this? Right? That's AI thinking. That's what AI thinks. It can't think that unless you tell it that these are the things that you can do. So AI is never going to be able to be a bartender, right? It's never going to draw you a beer and make you a drink, right? You may be able to have a machine do that, but that element of going to see your bartender just to get away from, just to talk to them about whatever it is, that kind of thing. So it's not good with people things. It's not good, but it can, assist people with their jobs and make them easier to complete. I've got a question for you. Do you have an example of? No, I'm not. I'm not going to go there for what we discussed before. Do you have an example of good sales management from your career that you want to share with us? That you experienced?
There was. It wasn't even necessarily a sales career, but my first experience out of college was working for a property casualty insurance company, where I was really much more of the marketing team. We'd set up video shoots, working with Hoppy, working with the local ad agency to produce content. But I had a boss who was one of those people that you didn't want to disappoint, right? The worst thing in the world would be to disappoint him because you felt like crap. You absolutely hated the fact that you disappointed this person. And that taught me that taking on not only personal responsibility, but being there for when people need you and when they need you to do something, and when they need you to do something well. And instead of taking what would be logically the road where, okay, I'm going to ask those questions that are going to help me better achieve this project. Instead, I'm going to try to take this on and do it all by myself and not ask questions and just do this as best I can job. And when that doesn't happen in the way that you expect it to, and you work for a person that you would run through a wall for, and that's the best way I could describe this boss. If he were still working, and I don't care what the job was, I would go work for this person again, because I believed in how he worked with people, because he understood, and this is way before AI or before we had really any deep technological ways to be able to communicate. He was somebody who just it made you feel like you could do anything in life and anything you put your mind to. And that gave me the mindset that if I can get to that process or that place in my head, with every position I ever do, then it won't matter that I'm not working for somebody as talented and as wonderful as this person. What will matter is that I know that I can do that job, that I can achieve what I set out to do here, but at the same time that I have enough history that I understand what good really looks like. And that experience alone propelled me into doing things and into trying things that I would have never tried otherwise, because I didn't have the confidence. I didn't understand that, there are some really good people out there who will take the time and teach you and mentor you and make sure that you're set up for success and that you are successful. And when you get that internal feeling where you feel like you can do anything and you can run through that brick wall and you will do anything for this person to make them happy and show that you can do a competent job, I think that sets you up for bigger things later in life. Whether you go into sales or you go into IT or you go into whatever, it doesn't matter. You could be digging ditches for 2 years after, but you'll understand that, you know what, I'm here because I chose to be here rather than I'm just here to make a quick buck and hopefully, not want to off myself at the end of the day. And that's something you learn. I think if you learn that early on in life, that propels you into whatever you're gonna do later on in life, because you understand what good, what great, what excellent, what there is no better looks like, and you'll continue on in that vein, and you'll look for opportunities to make you feel that way again.
Yeah. So having somebody that believes in you, but also like someone that believes in you that you respect, that you want to do well for. And we've all had, horrific sales management, and most of them are horrific,
Yes.
to start telling stories. But it's like, I didn't want to do well for them. Like I knew that if I was doing well, that they were doing twice as well. Like that was helping. I know it was helping my bank account, but it was helping theirs twice as much, and that really bothered me because well, anyway. So leads me to my next question is why should young people want to get into the sales field?
I would think the biggest thing is that the main motivator in your life is to help other people, right? If you don't feel that, and if you are only interested in, what I can do for myself, rather than what can I do for this person, for this community, for this group, and help them achieve their goals, I think that's the strongest indication that you either should or shouldn't be a salesperson, because you're going to face a lot of rejection. You're going to face a lot of negativity. You're going to face a lot of bad bosses and people who just don't get it, and people who should never have attempted to sell anything in their lives because they don't get it. But if you're one of those people who knows that you have a mission in life, and that mission is to really serve others and to do it in a way that not only benefits you, but also benefits them, and gives you that feeling that your life has meaning and has purpose, then I think that's why you should consider sales, because it's a way to do that, make a very comfortable living doing it, but at the same time, do it in a way that that gives you hope and purpose, and makes you feel good about what you're doing and what you're achieving in life.
Yeah, unless you're selling car warranties, then you can go F off is what you can do. That's like the worst of the worst. But yeah, so it's like sales is a noble profession. People need to realize that sales is a noble profession. Think about it that way. Think about the positive. We do think about, and we have discussions about the negative aspects of the sales things and management that we've experienced, but that's experiences that we have together that we can laugh about now. It sucked at the time, but we laugh about it now. But the good stuff, when it's good, it's so darn good. It is so good. An example of that from my past, one of my clients prior to when we worked together was the Department of Defense schools. So it was all the kids whose parents were working for the Department of Defense in any capacity, and that was around the world. And they were a big user of the software that we had, which helped address learning differences, right? So they used it a bit different. They didn't use it just for kids with learning differences, but to enhance the learning of the other kids too. They found ways to use it. It was really cool. And you can look it up. Gods and Dodia, you can look up like how many kids that we helped. They were totally into it. They were totally bought in. They knew how to use the software. They wanted to use it, and that led to like a large sale for me that I worked on for a long time. It was difficult. It was like late night presentations and whatnot. But in the end, they were like, we're really happy, and they were excited to start using us for all our kids. And afterwards, thinking back, my mother was like, "Oh, you're helping a lot of kids who whose parents are working for the military." I said, "That's really noble, honey." And I hadn't thought of that. I thought of the individuals I was dealing with and the pockets of kids they were using. I didn't think of them as a whole. She's like, "No, you're helping everybody.
Yeah,
everybody connected to them." And it depends on the product and the vertical or whatever you want to call it that you're selling into. But those are the kinds of things where if you have proper intent going into it, then you can make those kinds of differences. You can. You just can.
Right.
If you're going into it with the mindset of sales pays well and I'm going to make a bunch of money, you are. But you can make more of it if you don't go into it with that mindset. Right? Change your mindset around to helping, because all those people that all those administrators that I helped, I can still reach out to them and say hello. They remember who I am. I have worked for that company in 20 years.
Right.
Or actually 15 years. It's been that long, but they still remember, and they want to update me on the software and whatnot. They bought like an earlier version. They're like double the version now. So I don't even know what the software does anymore. They got to say that, but they still want to talk about it. Those are the kind of relationships that you can build with those kind of people, and the people that you're selling to. You can always tell like which ones care and which ones don't.
Right.
Like some of the people that we sold to at that in Burlington, was like a lot of them were kind of, in the process and didn't have authority to do it. So they were kind of like afraid to take the step of we have to involve so-and-so. We have to involve so-and-so, right? That's a little bit different of a sale. Whereas if you're selling on, we'll say the commercial side of things, you're in SLED now, I think you mentioned.
Right.
But you still have people who that you're talking to that they want to make a difference. They have a need to make a difference.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good road to go. I was thinking about the stuff that you do. So you said that there are handwritten notes. Is that correct?
Yeah. And sometimes you get these Freedom of Information Act notes that a person requests information specifically on what's going on in a specific community. If that information gets lost, if that information somehow doesn't get transposed to the right way, you know what? Bad things can happen, and people can get in serious trouble for it because you're violating certain ADA standards, what have you. And unfortunately, it just becomes one of these things where if you don't have a process internally to want to fix that problem, then that goes back, and it just goes back to the human versus the technology solution, right? And combining the two will lead you to success, both as a human here on the planet and as somebody who will really engage and make a difference in other people's lives. Yeah. And to your point, where you've mentioned this company that you work for, where the clients will still take your phone call. I mean, that's impressive. That doesn't happen anymore, really, because people do not want to be talked to, especially by salespeople. And our biggest challenge sometimes is teaching them how to buy, because they're so upset with the process that they don't want to buy. They don't care to learn how to buy something. But when they find something, because they've developed a relationship with you that leads to them wanting this solution, because they know it will better their lives, it'll fix the problem, it'll grant them some additional goodwill, either in their own lives or in the community, then that's when things change. And that's when you need to be somebody who, again, becomes part of that process where you care, versus, hey, I'm just here for the paycheck,
Yeah. So I got a very general question. I think we may have covered it, but succinctly, what's the best piece of sales advice you can give, not just to young salespeople, but to salespeople in general? Because we've worked. I mean, you and I are about the same age. We worked with a bunch of people who are about the same age, and even then on our team, we'd have discussions about best practices and best processes, right? Like one of the guys. He would come to me and want to, I don't want to use his name because I want to get him on the show. So, but he asked me to say, can you take a look at this email? Right. I'll get back to the question in a second, but take a look at this email. And the person decided not to purchase. And he wanted to send them like this flame email, just like, you wasted my time. You did this. I can't believe like the resources we spent. And I was like, okay, so, what is it that you want to get from this? I want him to know the following. Like, okay, you can do that by make it more succinct, and just tell him that. You don't need all this stuff. Or you could take the approach of, very disappointed it didn't work out this time. I still think there's something we can do. You take the approach of, this sucks. Don't say this sucks, but they say this sucks for now, but down the road, I really think we can get something that really you can benefit from this and take them back through the reasons why they're right, that kind of thing. And he went with that second option, because you don't want to flame somebody. I mean, if it's done and it's over, then F it, just do it. Then it doesn't matter. But that's going to be very rare in sales, where you're going to flame someone so you can't ever work with them again, right? So, best piece of advice you have for salespeople in general, not just young salespeople, because young salespeople aren't going to listen anyway. So,
exactly. I would say don't burn that bridge. Ask what you could have done better for that prospect, because something was missed.
Wait, a salesperson's actually going to admit to doing something wrong? That's that right there. I can't believe you just said that. How dare you get off my show? So what?
This goes back to the human element, right?
Yeah.
We're all human beings. We all have to make decisions. Sometimes they're tough decisions. Sometimes they're not the decision that you were hoping for, right?
Yeah.
But going and burning the bridge right down ensures that you're never going to have that interaction with that person again. And you're more likely to talk to people about a bad experience than a good one.
Yeah.
Right? So even if you're going to tell 10 people, hey, this guy absolutely, burned my ass and I'll never work with him again, versus, you know what, even though he didn't get the deal, he was inquisitive about why, what he could have done better. And is there something that he can improve upon in the future? You're looking for coaching. You're looking for mentorship, versus, you know what, I'm just going to burn this down and the hell with it, because I'll find somebody else who will. And you don't learn anything. All right. Life is about learning things. Yeah. As you get older, most people take the perspective of, I'm going to learn as much as I can before I can't learn anything anymore. And my goal is to learn something new each and every day, something that I either forgot about, that I learned decades ago, or something new that I had never thought about in a certain way. So if you take the approach that I'm going to take this opportunity to actually learn something from this prospect. Why did they not go with me? Right? Is it something I did, or is it just part of the process? Somebody internally didn't want to get burned because they made a decision to go with a competitor years ago, and they don't want to move from that because, let's face it, nobody's been fired for buying IBM, right? But at the same time, if you can take that and you can learn something from it, you'll know the next time the situation happens, because it's going to happen again, how to approach it and how to become that person, and that salesperson especially, who people know that they can rely on, that you'll always get that honest response, that honest engagement, that they're not just there, again, to make the quick buck and move on, that they actually care. And that comes back. That comes back because they will remember you for that, even if they don't select you. And maybe they've got a referral for somebody who you could work with, right? And you can turn around that way. But if it's sugar versus spice, sugar is always going to help you get to that next level, that next prospect, that next buying customer.
I've got a good use case for that. Was at a show with our buddy Larkin. It was we were in Montgomery, Alabama, and the people in the booth next to us, across from us, they came over and were talking and wanted to see our software. So we showed them the software, and it wasn't right for them. They're like, yeah, we're kind of looking for something that'll, trying to parse information. Like they want to parse emails. They want to parse, phone calls, that kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, our stuff's not right for you, but a company that I used to work for, here's what this software is. Here's what it does. And in fact, on my laptop, I still had a copy of it on my laptop, and I showed it to them. And they're like, oh, well, that's interesting. It's like, well, here's a simple use case of it. And I loaded up some just from my Twitter feed, right? And it made a word cloud from my Twitter feed. And like, well, what's that? That's just like, well, that's the word cloud from this particular time frame on Twitter. And it's like, well, a lot of people are talking about this. And so it's like, oh, so I double clicked the word, and it showed everyone that was talking about it and what they were talking about. Like, that's what we need. was like, we not for Twitter, but it's like, okay, cool. So here's the software and whatnot. Just talk to this person there. They'll get you a trial of it, and you guys should start at least taking a look at it, because it sounds like what you want to do is find out who's talking about what, when they're talking about it, what they were talking about at the time, that kind of thing. And again, it wasn't our software. I wasn't making a sale, but I was helping them in a way. And they remembered that because one person who they were building a school after that, and they were this has to do with the military. They were building a school, and they wanted to put our software, the company we're working at in Burlington. They're like, we thought about you, and had this gentleman call. I was like, hey, you talked to so and so. I was like, I did. He goes, good. He put me on to you with regards to your software. I was like, are we talking about the software I put him on, or the software that I'm with? Like, no, your software where you're working. I was like, oh, cool. Let's have that conversation. That kind of thing goes a long way. Like, the number one, well, I wouldn't say it's the number one, but a huge thing I'd like to tell any salesperson: that don't sell somebody something they don't need.
Right.
Ever do that. Don't ever do that. It's a waste of their time and a waste of their money, and they'll never talk to you again. And if they do, they'll find a way to drag you down, and it's just not going to happen. If they need something that you have, it's like, well, ours isn't right for you, but you put them onto something else, they're going to remember that. They'll come back to you. All right, switching gears. As we wind down, switching gears. A lot of people don't know, but they do now. Hoppy, a great guitar player and a huge Eddie Van Halen fan, which many people are, myself included. Hoppy, what is, I know it's hard, this is probably a difficult one, is your favorite lead from, not necessarily your favorite song, but your favorite lead. I'll ask you your favorite song afterwards. So yeah, give me your favorite song, Van Halen, and also your favorite lead. Could be the same song or not.
I would say, well, it's "I'm the One" from the first.
Oh, sure, yeah.
On the first album.
Yeah.
I've never heard a better speed boogie song in my life. I mean, just the energy and what Eddie's doing is just crazy.
Yeah.
Solo wise, oh boy, that's a good one. I mean, obviously you could say it was Eruption, but Eruption's been done to death.
That's the thing about think about like composers and whatnot. Is somebody if somebody brings up Eruption, as it is fantastic, but it's not him playing it because he's a great guitar player. It's the fact that he created it, right?
Exactly.
If you go back to Vivaldi or Mendelssohn, any of the great composers, it's not the fact that they play it in symphonies still recreated. Recreating something is its own ability, it's its own talent. But the fact that you create that thing that is now being recreated, that's where the talent is. And he did both. He did both of those with Eruption and the songs as well. That's what, to me, it just blows me away. So leading the song, I always I think it's from the second album, with "Out of Love," the song "Out of Love." It's underappreciated. It doesn't get played on the radio, but there is just a break in there that's between he and his brother, where to signal Edward, Eddie, whatever you want to call him, that it's his time to play. Alex simply just hits the kick drum once. It's boop like that, and then you get this pause in there where Eddie's like, "Oh, it's my turn to play." So he starts playing the beat. It just fits that. And then there's another one that is actually it's a funny song. Everybody should listen to it. Is "Women and Children First." Which is it's an acoustic verse, but it's the four of them, and you can tell they don't take themselves very seriously. It's 4-part harmonies. They're just playing the song. Ed's playing a kind of a slide guitar, kind of not, and it's not like something he does, particularly well. But it's like, here, play this, and it's like, good. So they played this song. Go back. Everybody should go listen to that song, "Women and Children First," and just listen to like the lightheartedness of them, because they're laughing during it, laughing during the song, and they kept it on the album.
I would say probably my favorite though is the intro to Mean Streets.
Yeah.
Just because, he opens that up like he does with Eruption. It's I'm here and you're paying attention.
Yeah, he's using a percussive nature on you. Anyone can go and look up how he does it, but look, it's a percussive nature on the fretboard, and it always mindful of me, not the same way, but looking to find the same effect of when Jimmy Page used the guitar, the drumstick on his guitar neck during Dazed and Confused. Like you hear like that kind of, but Eddie's using his hand to do it. It's just like the innovative nature of what he's doing. And then he recreates it and uses it differently. You see a live version of Eruption, you'll see him using that same technique. So taking that innovation and creating it to create that sound. When I first heard that, I'm so glad you brought that up. When I first heard that, I was like, I had no idea what he was doing, but I made it my life's mission to learn what it was and learn how to do it. Like to the point of on an acoustic guitar, I was doing that one night. My wife was like, "What is that?" And so I played the song for her. Like, oh, and you were able to recreate that, and that's when we had that discussion. Like, yeah, me recreating it isn't. It's a different set of stuff.
Right.
But I'm just recreating what was created by that alien of a human being.
Right.
Like you hear like Dweezil Zappa talk about Eddie Van Halen. He's like still to this day. It's like just like totally in on just like his thanks him to this day for his innovation. Because his father also was a big part of that. But when Dweezil grew up, he just couldn't like fathom like that someone could do something like that.
Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw that same podcast actually, and yeah, he's definitely. You talk about the little puppy dog that just follows around his mentor.
Yeah.
That's Dweezil, but a great guitar player in his own right too. But
sure,
I forgot what I was going to say here, but I mean, the thing about Eddie is the aggressiveness, and I love the violence he brings to the playing because it's so energetic. Yeah, and it goes right to you, and you go, "Wow, how does this guy do this?" Yeah. When I first heard that album, that first album, I'm going, "There's no way that one guy is doing that, is playing." It's got to be two. It's got to be some studio musicians they brought in, right, help them out. There's no way this guy's playing this, and it confounds me to this day how much and that it's all Eddie. It's nothing else. It's all Eddie.
And it was just you probably saw the same thing, but it was just him. They were just like warming up. They weren't recording it. They had the recording equipment and like, okay, we're rolling. And so this is they were warming up to start recording a song. And so he and Alex, which is what they did at home, were just like, they just kind of like Alex cues him with right? And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, okay, I got it. So, and they just start playing, and Ted Templeman was rolling on so they kept it, and Eddie wanted to do it again. It's like, no, he said we'll keep it. So that's one take, right? That's a single take of that. It's not they did it over and over. They got the right one. They got that one, like that single one. It's mindful of of Randy Rhoads. So a lot of people may know or may not know, depending on how much you like guitars. The lead on Crazy Train was tripled, meaning they didn't record it 3 times and then put it together. Randy Rhoads played it 3 times, note for note, over the recording of the other one. So the second time was a recording of two versions, so then it's the same one, and the third. So what that does is gives the effect of they call it a splitter, like a split. You can do that channel splitter, like if Steve and I are talking, you can split our voices. That you've heard that done, right? Exactly. That's not what they did. They did it naturally, where he played over the 2 tracks for the third time, and that's why listen to it in headphones, you hear it like kind of like go back and forth between the 2 channels. That's a natural effect of what that is. That's just outrageous talent that I will never possess on any level for anything, like for any reason. That's just crazy. Steven,
Kenny,
this was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I'm glad we had a chance to to catch up. This is absolutely wonderful. I'd love to do it again sometime if you like.
Definitely
Okay,
include
cool.
me in that.
So we're gonna give you the outro. Give us, if you want to, give the opportunity to give us your company, give us what you're selling, and give us an opportunity for people if they want to contact you for in any way, shape, or form.
So the company again is eScribe. We provide meeting management, agenda, and minutes management software for state and local governments. My territory is in the Southeast. I'll be quite frank with you. So any of you looking for, or just in general, if you're looking for a meeting management software, want to talk to somebody who actually cares, or will get you set up, give me a call.
Excellent. And you want to give me your number or no? It's up to you.
Oh, sure. 603-674-1347.
Excellent, Stephen. Thank you very much. Good to talk to you.
You as well, Kenny. Be well.
Thank you.